This 20-year-old Phoenix man didn't make the smartest decision. Earl Morrison had stolen a $160,000 diamond from a package while working for UPS. Think he went on a shopping spree? Not quite. Instead of doing so, he took the diamond and traded it for something worth 8,000 times less, a $20 bag of marijuana. Where he had expected to find cash, he found the expensive jewel, and without thinking twice or finding the right person to trade with, Morrison resorted to selling the diamond for a little bit of pot before later getting caught by police. This particular robber was just a little too nervous. He entered the Halifax bank with a gun in one hand and a bag to carry the cash in the other. He made his way to the front counter and demanded that the cashier give him £700,000. So far so good, right? He next planned to hand over the bag so the cashier could fill it with money. Instead, he got a little mixed up and handed over his gun. Followed by a brief pause, the robber realized his mistake and attempted to grab his gun back. With the gun pointed at him, he managed to make a run for it. Oh yeah, and he didn't go empty-handed, as he pedaled off on a bank employee's bicycle. In 1995, Klaus Schmidt decided he would try and rob a bank by walking in with a pistol and demanding money. Seems like a pretty basic bank heist, right? However, as this robbery progressed, bank employees noticed something a little odd. At one point, one of the employees asked the robber if he needed a bag. He replied saying, "You're damn right it's a real gun." This is when they realized they were being robbed by an obvious deaf person. One employee decided to take advantage of this by sounding the alarm. Schmidt remained oblivious the whole time until the police had shown up. He eventually was taken into custody and tried to sue the bank for exploiting his disability. Late 2009, Joey Miller, age 20, and Matthew McNally, age 23, came up with quite an ingenious plan to keep themselves disguised. But don't take the word ingenious too seriously. When these robbers decided to break into an apartment, instead of using a more traditional disguise like a mask, they chose to draw on their own faces with permanent markers. Not thinking very well beforehand, permanent markers are not an easy thing to erase. So when this so-called devious duo were pulled over by the police, they were easily recognizable. On March 23, 2010, Albert Bailey may have deserved an A for effort in this not-so-smart robbery plan, but it would earn him the next 9 years behind bars. Bailey thought it would be a smart move to call the bank ahead of time to let them know he was coming to rob them. This way the bank would have the money ready before he got there. Smart idea, right? Not quite. Bailey then sent his juvenile accomplice along with a note so the bank would know exactly who he was. At this point, bank employees had police on the phone ready. He went in demanding $100,000, but didn't get anything more than $900 before walking outside into the arms of police. A 26-year-old woman decided to go to Applebee's to have a few drinks. She looked her age, and employees said she wouldn't have needed to use her ID, but she decided to anyway. Before receiving her drink, she handed the waitress a driver's license. Whose driver's license was it exactly? It was the license of the waitress that was serving her. The waitress remained calm and cool, told the customer she was off to get her drink, and called the police instead. Earlier that year, the Applebee's employee had lost her wallet containing all of her cards and cash, which ended up stolen and never returned. This thief got exactly what she had coming to her. October 2014, a Georgia man named Alvin Cross Jr. sent a message to the wrong person and it resulted in him serving 2 more years in prison. When attempting to text his drug dealer, he accidentally sent the text message to his parole officer. The message read, "You have some weed?" The text landed Cross 1 year in prison for violating his probation and another year on a drug charge when police raided his apartment and found cocaine. Always double check who you're texting. The largest bill currently in circulation in the United States is the $100 bill. That didn't stop 53-year-old Michael Fuller from going to his local Walmart and attempting to use a $1 million note. Fuller, who should have done his research, attempted to use the fake bill to purchase a microwave, vacuum, and other items totaling $476. He then expected to receive $999,524 in change. Police were eventually called. Fuller was then charged with attempting to obtain goods under false pretense and uttering a forged instrument. In 2008, 18-year-old Ruben Zarate wanted to rob a muffler and exhaust shop in Chicago. He entered the store armed with a gun and demanded all the money they had. There was one problem though. Most of the money was in the store safe, and only the manager could open it. Luckily, the manager wasn't in, and this thief didn't have a brain. Ruben decided that he would try again later, and to save himself some time, he left his cell phone number with the store employees. That way, they could call him when the manager returned. Not surprisingly, the employees called Chicago police. When they arrived, they instructed the employees to call the robber. Zarate shortly returned to find officers waiting for him. In 2010, a burglar was found in a San Bernardino County home, but it's the way he was caught that makes this burglary so hysterical. On a late Saturday night, an Oak Hill community couple discovered the thief in their home after the husband told his wife a joke and heard a laugh come from upstairs.